A simple set of questions, sir. Nothing great at all. Right? Shall we proceed? Question 6. Young commander was awarded a honorary doctorate by an obscure university along with a sum of 10 crores towards lifetime contribution for having worked in industry for over 2 decades of awesomeness. Would this be considered a service? Why not? Good morning. ரொம்ப தூக்கத்துல இருக்கீங்க. Anyway. Yeah, please. There is no activity, sure. Granting of honorary doctorate. Then award of rupees 10 crores for lifetime achievement. Activity, no activity. There is no nexus between whatever you have already done and the consideration that you pay in this context. The rewards, awards and all in general is not treated as consideration for an activity that you are doing specifically for this consideration. It's a general payout. Clear here? In fact, this entire tamasha is based on one specific university on the Pondamuli High Road, where my sister also did her, dental course. Same. So that chap was brought in and awarded this honorary doctorate. And the நேரத்துல, even today it is so, it effectively became a promotional point for that university. Look at how or what kind of tax planning can actually go behind that one. So what 10 crores anyway is going to pay. If you pay the actor 10 crores to sponsor them or as a sponsor, as a brand ambassador, entire 10 crores subjected to service tax. அதனால போடு ஒரு டாக்டரேட்டை கொடு ஒரு அவார்டை 10 கோடி எடுத்துக்கோ ப்ளீஸ் கமெண்ட் வில் யூஸ் யுவர் ஃபோட்டோஸ் எக்ஸெட்ரானா சல்லிகா சர்வீஸ் டேக்ஸ் கிடையாது. So it's not even a single paise service tax has to be paid if it is shown as if it is an award. But இதே same actor you are going to engage for promoting, marketing, what not, in that case what will happen? You are required to pay service tax. So the mother of all these kind of engaging an actor to promote, do all these kind of things was that IIPM. What is that man's name? Arindam Chaudhary. I think his brother is supposed to be a good writer and economist. I think this man was pure maverick. I think he set up a university which awards a degree which nobody recognizes. And they used to collect huge amounts of money. I think they had a campus even at Chennai, right? Most of them were placed, but the later part, there was huge amount of trouble. I think that's been shut down right now. It was considered to be some kind of Ponzi scheme. You bring in new student, you get a cut and all. One of the country's first college to give a laptop to all its students. For whatever money these guys are charging, they could have given as well a car. So nothing wrong about a laptop. Shah Rukh Khan used to come and market the entire thing. He used to market everything. So he used to come and market this entire program. Huge. பார்த்தாங்க ஷாருக்கானுக்கு இதே மாதிரி லைஃப் டைம் அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் கொடுத்துருப்பான்னு நினைக்கிறேன். I don't know, but this I specifically know. Anyway, so therefore guys, this is not an activity for a consideration. Awards and rewards are never a consideration, treated as a consideration for something. By design, by nature, awards are only for something that you have done exceptionally well, right? Not in this case. So yeah, there is no nexus between whatever activity that you have been doing in the past and this one year. Proceed பண்ணலாம் ராஜா. Everybody, with reference to Finance Act 1994, discuss the taxability. By the way, question 6 can be a potential examination question. So do mark that as important. The concept of awards and rewards by no stretch of imagination can be called as an activity for a consideration. By design, by nature, these are not meant for a specific activity. These are very generic. Which one? 1,000 films are going to come to a particular film festival. One person is going to win. Which one? I didn't get you.
What if my film is selected as a better film in that film festival or someone has given an award?
It still doesn't matter,
Take
yeah.
that as an excess, because my film is taken only for sending it to film festivals and institutes.
I'm not sure if somebody makes any such movies. I don't know. But do people actually make any movies only for sending to awards? And most of the movie looks like that. But do people really make it that way? I think betting you make a movie which you are not even sure of winning an award.
Even that Kaka movie was like that. The Rus subsequently bought it.
I never knew it at all here. Somebody makes a movie only for winning an award.
They sent the film festival.
But I still don't think that it can be considered to be an activity for a consideration. See, for the simple reason being, you are sending the entire thing for an award program or award scheme where there is no guarantee that you're going to get an award. Still, award remains an award. No, they kind of evaluate, validate whatever you have done, or evaluate, validate la manamata. They give an award. We cannot call that as a consideration for whatever you have done. Serious. Question 7. With reference to Finance Act 94, discuss the taxability of the following activities relating to a bank. Extension of loan. Should Mr. A pay service tax, guys? Yeah, this is a transaction in money outside the ambit of definition of service. Is it not here? A transaction in money was very specifically excluded from the definition of service. So therefore, 50 lakh loan being given by bank to a borrower will not attract levy of service tax. Merely because A is receiving 50 lakhs doesn't mean that he has to pay any service tax, because these are all refundable. Any refundable component can only be called as a loan or deposit, and therefore it has to be treated only as transaction in money. Munjida, interest income is also only transaction in money, bear it in mind. Second, bank received 50,000 as loan processing fee. Now what here? So this is a service. We've already seen that activities relating to facilitation or promotion or marketing of transactions in money will not be excluded from the definition of service. In fact, number part of discussion now, what does not constitute transaction in money. These activity, loan processing fee and all will not constitute transaction in money. These are services, and therefore these will definitely attract levy of service tax. Is it not, guys? Then third, interest of 6 lakhs here. This is also a transaction in money. So do bear it in mind. When you lend money to earn only money, these kind of activities are still called only as transaction in money. Dividends, interest, the discount differences. I'm issuing a loan at a discount or debentures at a discount. I'm going to get the face value. Difference will also constitute only what here? Transaction in money. Are we clear about this, guys? In fact, to the extent they relate only to these kind of things, interest, discount, it will be treated only as transaction in money. Clear then, guys? Everybody here? Then, question number 8. Should we move on, boss? Yeah? 8. You, as an advisor on financial matters, to mark this question as important, have provided some investment advisory services to Warren Buffett, against which you have invoiced him a sum of rupees 50 lakhs. Your bill was overdue, and as agreed, Mr. Buffett has settled the dues along with interest of 6 lakhs for the delayed settlement. Would both the amounts be regarded as consideration for the service and subjected to service tax levy? Mark it as very important, guys. Let's not bother about import export kind of business and all. So don't bring those ideas right now. We're just trying to understand whether this constitutes a service or not. So 50 lakhs that you're going to bill. Is it a service? Are we clear about that? There is no confusion about that one at all, because you have done some activity, the advisory, consulting, whatnot, against which you're going to raise an invoice and get the money. No problem at all. What about the 6 lakh rupees interest? Still a service? Why? Is it not a transaction in money? Yes. Transaction in money, not a transaction in money. Why is it not a transaction in money? Is it not a case that once you are not making the payment on the due date, till the due date, it was like normal due. Once it is crossing the due date, effectively the vendor has lent money, in which case will he not be required to pay some extra amount. Instead of 6 lakhs being paid to the advisor, what if Warren Buffett borrowed 50 lakhs from the banker and paid the money to the advisor, and to the banker he is going to settle the money sometime later by paying an interest of 6 lakhs. Up and now, in that case, it's a transaction of money. Here, it is not transaction of money. What's the distinction, please? Okay, not an intention to lend money. Is that the case? Yes, please. Sorry. It is a transaction in money. Anybody else who wants to add up to his point or contest his point here? Yes, please.
It's not a penalty. You need to factor in the time value. 50 lakhs would have become 56 lakhs in the due time. So
Okay.
after that, he has paid. So by nature, it's the same consideration which is paid.
Once you invoke time value of money, so yeah, it obviously becomes an interest element. So bear it in mind, any interest component paid over and above the consideration for a service for delay in payment would be treated only as transaction in money. It will never ever be subjected to levy of service tax. Well, Vasadiyar case, sir, someone will raise an invoice for 1 rupee and say interest is 99,99,999. Go to Muchla. Obviously, it smacks of the kind of tax evasion strategy right up front. So everything is subject to reasonableness. The fundamental idea is whenever you are raising an invoice for a particular value and there is a possibility that you will pay only that value if it is being settled on or before the due date, to that extent it is a consideration for the activity that you have done. Over and above the amount charged, if something is payable due to delay, it obviously becomes what? An interest element. To that extent, it becomes transaction in money. Are you clear about this, guys? And the point, and let's not assume that transaction in money is only for a pure loan transaction. There are cases where a vendor due can actually become a financial transaction beyond a due date. That is why we end up charging interest. I am giving you reasonable time period for you to make a payment. You have to pay with interest. Clear, guys? And therefore, boss, mark it as very important. Here end segment. The amount of rupees 50 lakhs is a consideration for an activity. What activity here? Advisory activity. And therefore, the service subject to the levy. Second, what about your other segment? The amount of rupees 6 lakhs is for delay in the settlement. This is in the nature of interest. It is an interest as a matter of fact, and hence it is a transaction in money, and therefore, guys, subjected to levy of service tax. Subject to levy கிடையாது. Excluded from the definition of service, not subjected to levy. Market is very important here. Definitely a potential 4 mark or 5 mark question in the examinations. Extremely important. In fact, later when we discuss valuation rules, and the specific clause but you don't even need to go to valuation rule. You just need to apply the base principles and then conclude that the extra money that you are going to pay will not be subjected to levy of service tax. Guys. Now, here I just want you people to be aware of something. You can also probably make a note. And later we will see the entire thing in a detailed fashion at the appropriate time. Valuation பார்க்கும் பொழுது Which will also bring me to that question that I had left you with yesterday. Spectrum, no. What was the answer for that, guys? What about spectrum issued before the date? Taxable, not taxable. It is still not taxable because these guys have brought in some amount of negatives and exemptions more particularly for all the spectrum sold before your cutoff date. So, on the bunch of spectra, they still say you don't have to pay any taxes because it is a continuation of a old obligation. Now, I'll just bring to the very same portion and then tell you guys. Spectrum auction, what did I say here? If there is a bid for 20 crores or 20,000 crores or whatever, government will say that upfront fee is 20,000. Pay 20,000 crores right now, move on. So on 20,000 crores, you will be required to pay service tax. Yesterday because it is treated as a declared service. What also happens is that this upfront fee can be paid in installments. Upfront fee when it is being paid in installments, they will say that instead of 20,000 crores in a single go, pay 2,200 crores per annum for next 10 years or 12 years as appropriate. But here, the extra 200 crores per annum that is being paid, what will you call that as? Interest. And therefore, by extension of this logic, that should be transaction in money. But that is the only exception where it will not be treated as interest. It will be treated only as consideration for the spectrum and therefore subjected to levy of service tax. There's a very specific exception to the general rule. Watch out. Seriya guys, and therefore spectrum auction or any amount payable to government, for instance, spectrum auction even any payment to government, idea is sir, any excess payment made for availing deferred payment scheme will still be subjected to levy of ST. It is not treated as transaction in money. Not just this is definitely going to raise huge amount of, I won't say issue, but there are quite a few other people who are already following this model. If insurance policy, your clients, or your own family members and you, these guys typically come and say that whether you want to pay the premium on half-yearly basis, annual basis, quarterly basis, etc. You'll always find that whenever you want to make the payment on quarterly basis or half-yearly basis, the aggregate premium payable per annum is slightly more than the annual premium. What is the extra amount? You can probably call it as interest, but even then you will be calling that only as a premium. An insurance company has to pay service tax on the entire value. Be aware, it's not as if this is the first time, but the very specific exclusion not directly related here, but I think you should be pretty much aware of this idea because don't extend the concept of transaction in money to all the cases. There are very specific cases where you're required to pay. Clear, guys? Everybody are?